Live from Toowoomba, this is Paul Murray Live, Our Town.
What a crowd, what a venue at the Mills precinct. Good on you guys, you're fired up. We're ready for a big night. Thank you so much for being here. We have got a huge show. We have had such a great weekend here in Toowoomba. It's got to be on your list. Of course, you can fly straight into World Camp from all over the country and get into all of the action that's here, the wonderful food, the beautiful people. This is a place that is just kicking goals, more and more of them each and every year. It's a beautiful place to visit, and maybe a place, if the time is right, come and move here. It's a great place to bring up kids, right? Good place to be with people. It's a community that takes care of each other, and they're taking care of us tonight. Now, what about the news? I mean, this was quite fortuitous that we came here, and it was just by luck, timing-wise. But are you pleased that Toowoomba is going to be hosting part of the 2032 Olympics? How good's that going to be? One of the events, one of the venues, it'll be the Equestrian. Now, I think one of the local papers, they did a little bit of an AI version of it. I don't think this is exactly how it's going to look, but still, this is the closest we could get for some sort of an idea of what the futuristic thing is going to look like when it comes to the showgrounds. But I think they just wrote Equestrian AI 2032. Bang! That's what appeared. The Jetsons will be feeding everyone. It'll be fun to see in the next little while. Now, this weekend was mega too. Now, we've had everything. We've had everything from the local show, the races, the King of the Mountain, the fog from Melbourne was fun for a couple of days, and we made our most. That's me treating the kids to the belting they deserve sometimes on the Dodgems, and plenty of fun that we had. And yeah, the pink hat, why not? Why not, hey? Just did turn the odd head once we got to the wood chipping, but other than that, it was great and fun. Now, before we celebrate everything that's here and we talk about some of the politics that's around, the good times that are being had in Toowoomba, well, out west, there's some tough times that are happening right now. Huge floods, biggest rains that have happened in decades. And the floods, the expectation is that these things, which are now sort of bigger than some European countries, are going to stick around for a while. There's lots of consequences that come from this. Mental note, wasn't it interesting that when there was a flood in southeast Queensland, the Prime Minister was there. Don't think he's visiting there at the moment in Western Queensland. You should remember that. But one of the big issues is, apart from people, businesses, livelihoods, of course, livestock. Plenty of them have been lost in the last little while. The Premier, who has been in the region over the past couple of days, had this to say. And I just wanted, before we started and celebrated, just to send strength and love to everyone out west.
It's early days, but the initial assessments suggest that there has already been significant stock losses into the tens of thousands, which is why mobilising quickly to make sure that starvation doesn't become a factor is really, really important to us.
Now, remember, lots of different charities that you can give to. farmaid.org.au is the one we often point to because they can help with feed, they can help with financial assistance. You can do a one-off donation, you can do the monthly donation, which means you can help for future situations like this because regardless of the size, this stuff happens in our country. So again, strength and love to everyone there. All right, bit of politics before we get into celebrating Toowoomba. Today marks 34 days to go in the federal election. Saturday just gone, 4 more after that, and we will find out who's going to be running the joint for the next 3 years. The Prime Minister, well, he spent the weekend, as always, blaming somebody else, this time the supermarkets.
I got asked today by someone as well, how do you know what's price gouging? Price gouging is when supermarkets are taking the piss off Australian consumers. That's what it is. That's what price gouging is. Everyone out there knows, consumers know, we'll take action.
Well, of course, the Prime Minister's been taking the piss for the past 3 years, but OK, we get it. He thinks that their people are going to fall for it, but that's the way it is. All right. As for Peter Dutton, he was trying to not just respond to the announcements of the government, he's trying to keep the focus on the national gas reservation for the East Coast and how that brings down power prices, meaning it's easier to run business and the price of everything starts to drop.
I want to get prices down. I want to make sure that we can stop the wreckage of Chris Bowen and Anthony Albanese in relation to their energy policy, and that has forced up the price of electricity. And there is a big difference as we go into this election. The Prime Minister is promising to increase the cost of electricity and gas, but he has broken his promise in relation to reducing power prices.
And speaking of Chris Bowen, unconfirmed reports he's been locked in the boot of the Prime Minister's car for the next 5 weeks. Now, theme of tonight's conversation. A week is a long time in politics. There was an American politician, I think Harold Wilson, who ended up saying it a long time ago. I didn't know that, of course I Googled it. But yes, that was something that remains pretty true. Now, February 25, YouGov poll, headline, Coalition best placed to form government, currently falling just 2 seats short of a majority. They said the coalition would be on its way to 73 seats, Labor 66, the Independents 6, the Greens wiped out to 1, Qatar Australia Party Centre Alliance, the only other people making it into the parliament. The headline's pretty obvious, 3 short of a majority, Labor was 10 short of a majority, and as for the preferred Prime Minister, well, Peter Dutton leading, 39 to 35. In the news poll released just last week, having a look at how the year has gone thus far, Coalition 51 to 49. Well, apparently this is the way that you connect with average Australians. Who knew that this was the way to change their mind, was to talk to them like preschool students?
Now, in a maths context, Labor's tax cuts are like Ree and Jeff. Ree and Jeff arrived on maths to discover they knew each other. They weren't marrying a stranger. They'd dated before. They'd gotten along. And the second time around, after a few dinner parties and a conversation with the experts, they're ready to commit. And like Ree and Jeff, Labor's tax cuts are the real deal and they're here to stay.
She's the aged care minister and earns $400,000. But the polls have changed. 51-49 is according to Newspoll. Big day of polls that have dropped this evening. 51-49 in favour of Labor. That, of course, would see them easily return to the majority position in terms of being able to form a minority. But have a look at preferred Prime Minister. Remember what I showed you before? Dutton up by a few. Now, Albanese 42, Dutton 33, according to this poll. That's a week is a long time in politics. Remember the YouGov poll saying that it was the Libs a couple short of a majority. The one that dropped this weekend now shows Labor 1 seat short of forming the majority. Labor, allegedly, is at 75 seats, Coalition at 60, Independents with 11. Greens would be able to hold on to 2, Centre Alliance and Qatar Australia Party. Labor 1 short of a majority. What seats would change hands? Now, whatever you may hear from someone big upping, what's a marginal seat, what's a tight seat, according to YouGov, and that's a poll of tens of thousands of people. It's not just about voting intention, but it's demographics and trying to work out this and that. Well, the Liberal Party would win Bennelong, Gilmore, Werriwa and Robertson. They'd also win Lyons in Tasmania, but the Labor Party would win Deakin off the Libs. They'd get 2 off the Greens. Wannon in Victoria would go from Liberal to Independent, and Cowper on the mid-north of New South Wales apparently would go Independent. Put simply, Libs win 5 but end up losing a collection off the back of it. Labor win 5 but end up, lose 5 but end up winning 3 to replace it. Essentially, a little bit like, if you remember the West Wing from a long time ago, if the election was held this weekend, not a lot changes. All the noise, all the lies, all the ads, all the gaslighting, all the BS, all the billions and $1.2 trillion in debt will pretty much not move the needle. But of course, we are only just at the start of the election campaign. So before you start thinking twice about whether you want to stick in with this for the next 5 weeks, can I show you another poll? This one from the Redbridge one, which is showing the movement towards Labor. But these are the sorts of things that I think can change people's minds when you are having a chat around the barbecue, kitchen table, back fence or the shops. Can you name a single thing that the federal government, led by Anthony Albanese, has done since May 22 that made your life better in any way? 54%, no. Majority of the country, no. 28% of Labor voters, no. 73% of Coalition voters, no. 44% of Greens voters, no. And amazingly, 65% of the everything else. Everyone from One Nation to Victorian Socialists and Teals and fake Teals in between. 65% of people not being able to name it. Latest betting odds, Sportsbet say Labor favourite just. Ladbrokes say Labor favourite just. TAB, well, they've now gone to $1.90 each, but depending on when you check it, they had the Libs in front a little bit earlier today. Samaras is the man we like to talk to. Stated of the race each and every Sunday. We'll do a big and proper version of it in a couple of days' time after our Peter Dutton pub test tomorrow night and our celebration of Toowoomba tonight. He's, of course, the boss of the Redbridge organisation who, like me, loves a data dump, and there was one hell of a one this weekend. Cos, lovely to see you, mate. Because there seems to be a lot of noise, and by that I mean lots of different polls that show us lots of different things. The trend is pretty obvious, but as a bloke who's making these polls himself and swimming through everyone else's data, what are you saying about the noise?
Yeah, I can almost guarantee you Labor's not winning Deakin in Victoria, that's for sure. The only thing that's going to be happening in Victoria is Labor's going to be losing seats to the coalition. At the moment, on a good day, Labor loses about 3 federal seats to the coalition in Victoria. So, look, the polls, if you step back and you look at them, it's 51-49 Labor's way. 3 weeks ago, it was the other way around. We're dealing within the margins right now because the electorate is so fractious, and there is a very big group of Australians out there who, frankly, don't have any loyalties to anyone, are swimming in the mix. So right now, they're in most parts of the country willing to park their vote on the Labor Party more than the coalition, obviously in a number of key seats. That doesn't mean the thing is actually done and dusted yet.
If most people around the country and bigger margins outside of the Labor vote, so they can't name a single thing that's made your life better in 3 years, how is it 51-49 in either direction?
Yeah, because basically when you speak to voters, you say to them, well, what do you think of the current mob? Not much. What about the other bloke? Not much. Right? And so Dutton's real challenge here is to actually offer millions of Australians who are quite peeved off at the moment some hope, a plan that actually gives them an alternative. If he does that successfully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, he could reverse this situation quite quickly. I make the point that about 42% of the voters' roll is made up of millennials. That is people 44 years and under. And these individuals, only half will tell you they have a values connection to a single registered political party in the country. So 50% of them, they have no connection to anyone. And so it doesn't take much to move them.
Now, you obviously do focus groups as well, where you get to talk to the people who participate in the surveys. What are they saying and what has changed, say, in the past couple of weeks? Not just about leaders, but about what they're looking for, hoping for and demanding of our debate in the next 4 weeks.
Depends who you are. If you're in the inner parts of Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane, you're going to get a very different response to Dutton's cuts to the public service, for example. However, if you're in the outer suburbs, most of the feedback we get is, look, the tax cuts are nice. I'm not going to feel it. It's not even going to touch the size to my problem. What about, and we're asking the question, well, what do you think of the opposition's policy? I don't know anything about them. So they're not getting any cut for it, right? Now, the fuel excise policy that was announced last Thursday may indeed have some cut for it, but they need to do a lot more of that in the coming weeks to actually get their attention. And this is the key thing, get their attention, because they're not tuned in at all.
Dumb question, but you've been on the inside of campaigns, you've been watching things from the outside for a while. Yes, we know about the role of everything outside the quote-unquote traditional media and a lot of that stuff when it comes to socials. As a hardcore political person, does your stomach turn a little bit like mine when you see government ministers sort of talking like play school presenters trying to link the federal budget to maths because we're down with the kiddies?
Yeah, the problem is, the sort of the way I can describe what they do sometimes is it reminds me of some old bloke on the dance floor trying to act like they're at 25 years of age, right? You just go, you just cringe. You just go, no, stop it, please. Don't do it again. And then my message to them is, yeah, don't do it. You come across as crass. You're not authentic. There are better people out there online who could do this a lot better. You should go and talk to them.
Yeah, I'm with you completely, Cos. I'm fine with a little bit of sort of dad dancing at a wedding, a bit of this and a bit of that, but I'm not going to be pretending to know any of the words to anything. And obviously, when Horses by Darryl Braithwaite, we just stand like this because it's one of the national anthems. Thank you, Cos. We'll see you on Tuesday, mate, for a longer and proper version of State of the Race. Give me a round of applause. Cos Samaras from Redbridge. All right, let's celebrate Toowoomba. Let's talk up this great place. All right, so Toowoomba, as you know, a couple of hours away from Brisbane. For those that need to know where it is on a map, it's in a place called Queensland. All right, it's a wonderful part of Australia that's got a whole bunch of things, including one of the greatest cultural buildings in regional Australia is the Empire Theatre. That thing is so special. I know it had its problems in the past. I know rebuilding it, all the rest of it, controversial a while ago. It's spectacular. There are, believe me, country towns around the country that would dream of what that sort of a facility is. It can bring everything from the ballet to stand-up comedy to, I think it was a Rotary conference this weekend, which was great. The Qantas Flight Academy, huge fight to get that here, and it's excellent that that's in regional Queensland as well. You can take a look at a whole bunch of beautiful places around here, including what I think is the best and biggest Australian flag in the country. I love that thing. Never take it down, all right? Even if in 50 years they vote to change the freaking flag, keep that one up, because I like that one. Lots of fun things here, history to see as well. Population about 128,000 people. Median age is about 40, so it's right at the prime of people's lives. They've got kids, they've got parents, and they want to get on with things. And they know how to have a good time. This was part of what we did on a big weekend in Toowoomba. There's no place I'd rather be than in country Queensland, and I can tell you this is the weekend to be in Toowoomba. The local show is on this weekend and the biggest race day in regional Queensland. Let's start with the show, and here at the showgrounds, it's not just big news this weekend, it's big news for the 2032 Olympics, because mighty old Toowoomba is going to be hosting the equestrian. This will be an Olympic venue. It already looks great, but it's going to look $1 million when the foreigners roll in just a few years' time. All of my favourite food groups are here. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Can I get a pink cowboy hat, please? Thank you very much. Come on, push, push! Woo! Let's give Bubbles a crack. Come on, you bugger. Come on, you bugger. Oh! How good's a country show? Wow.
19, 20, 21, 24, 25, 17, 18.
You may well have noticed by now two things are very different. This is a real man, but this is a champion real man. Braden, congratulations, mate. How long have you been swinging an axe?
Since I was 9 years old, but obviously as a young fella, you know, Dad had an axe in my hand since I could walk, so a long time.
Well, a Dagwood dog at the Toowoomba show. The rain's just starting, but our day's only getting started. Off to the races. What a day, nothing like a country Queensland race day, but the King of the Mountain. This is a special one for Toowoomba.
It is a special one, Paul. This is the third running of the King of the Mountain. We're really excited to have it here on the Toowoomba Show holiday, which is a race day of tradition here in Toowoomba. All these people, they love racing. Country racing is just flying at the moment. The weather has not been kind to us today, but Toowoomba have come out and they have supported racing and supported the club.
It's been pumping for hours. GA, fashions on the field.
Lights on. Off and running in the King of the Mountain. Steady, ready, in front, 50 to go. Yes! Russian Alliance and Mullane charging. Yes! Yes! Maybe steady, ready, just.
What a day in Toowoomba, what a day at the races. Would you recommend country races to everyone?
Hey, bloody-o.
How good's the King of the Mountain and a race day in Toowoomba? It was great, it was fun. And I personally think that looking like a drowned rat is my best look, don't you think? Just a heavily soaked fat bloke in the rain, it's just a beautiful look. Thank you to everyone who hung out with us. We'll show you some other fun stuff around. Can I also give a particular shout out to some very special people I had dinner with last night? John Wagner, of course, head of the Wagner Corporation that do such incredible work. Round of applause to your good self, John. Family as well. This bloke is committed to Toowoomba. He loves it. And I tell you what, he was absolutely clear about pump up the joint, because he believes in it. He's made it for the better. You should be proud of him and everything that he's done, along with the team of Gus and everyone else at Harvey Norman who've done a great job with us in the past little few days. So thank you, John. Thank you, family. Thank you, Toowoomba. Thank you, Harvey Norman. Plenty more in a sec here on Paul Murray Live. Glad you're watching live in Toowoomba. In Queensland. All right, false start. We're back. Hello, everyone. Apologies for that. Let's get into this now. Now, Harvey Norman, of course, are the people who have supported us since the very first Our Town, which was in Toowoomba. Years ago, we've grown it to the size it is right now, and so many people turning up. And one thing that's really different this year and great this year is that we're asking, or Harvey Norman, I should say, is asking locals in the places that we go to nominate the people in their community who deserve just a little bit of extra support. I had the chance to meet them. Now, normally when we go and do this, the local store puts it on, but I've got to say, the one in Toowoomba, they lay out the best morning tea I've ever seen and some of the best people that we've met in a very long time. Toowoomba is a really special place for me because it's the very first location we ever picked when it came to Our Town. The good people of Harvey Norman mean a lot to me as well because they have been with us since day one. And this year, they're asking locals in the places that we visit to nominate the local heroes to get a big reward from their community. Tell us, who have we got and what are they about to get?
It's really exciting to see so many people voting for so many charities, but there's always got to be 3 winners. And the first one is we've got Adapt Mentorship with Adam and Susie.
Well done, my darling.
Second, we've got Hope Horizons. Rachel, thank you very much.
Well done.
Last, we've got Eva's Place. Juliet, congratulations.
Well done.
So we work with young people who are disengaged from school in the youth justice system, child safety system. We create safe spaces for them so they can come on a weekly basis, a consistent basis, and so we can build trust and let them know that they're actually valued and they are part of our community.
We also had a sensational morning tea with spectacular people who are from the organisations Harvey Norman help in the community as well. Tell us about Life Flight. What do you guys do?
All right, so we are air rescue services.
Yeah, aeromedical retrieval services out in the community of Broadcast, Darling Downs and all through Queensland, because we're delivering essentially a flying ICU bed to a remote area on the side of the road somewhere.
Over time, businesses like Harvey Norman have come on board with support and they've been involved with us about 5 years now in all different levels of support, from helping out at our gala to providing some finances, goods and services, you name it.
Gus is in charge of the operation here at Harvey Norman at Toowoomba. You are a local champion, and I mean this in that when you talk to the charities, you talk to community groups, what does it mean to you to not just be a business in this community, but to be part of this community?
Well, I think businesses like Harvey Norman, it comes from the top down. This is built into our DNA. You know, Jerry and Katie have started this a long, long time ago, and it does filter down to this community, but get caught up. They're caught up in the most generous community in all of Australia. And I'm going to say that because no matter what happens, we've got businesses right now, every single day, that are taking care of our own.
What a mega day
for us and Harvey Norman here in Toowoomba. Now, we spread the love all over the country, and next month we are in Kalgoorlie. So if you can think of somebody who is helping your part of the community, come into the store and nominate them. Toowoomba to Kalgoorlie, how good is it? Gus from Harvey Norman.
Gussie!
How good's Gussie from Harvey Norman ripping in? We love him. Thank you, thank you. All right, Garth Hamilton is the local federal MP for the Seat of Groom. Jeff McDonald is the mayor of these parts, and they're both joined us now. Lads, hello, lovely to see you.
How are you, Paul?
Good to see you, mate.
Great to have you in the capital of the world, mate, right here.
Bloody oath. I'll take it.
This is the spot.
Good as it gets. The show's fantastic, and I love that not, a mayor, but a wood chopping mayor, a mayor who's been in that for a long time. And the bloke we had a chat to was, what did you say, both Queensland and world champion?
Lives in Kingsthorpe, 20 minutes away. World Championship on Friday, won the World Championship. He's won 5 out of 7 World Championships, and then Saturday, Queensland champion. 20 minutes drive from here.
Good
Amazing.
stuff. It should be an Olympic sport. This is absolutely fantastic to watch.
Well, you've got the venue, 2032. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'd love to see it. How was the show for you? I saw that you and the team were there for all the time.
Yeah, look, it's a great show. It's a great way to celebrate everything that happens in our region. We've got so much in our region. I know Jeff's a big supporter of this, but we've got the most number of feedlots in our region here. We've got eggs, pork, everything. You go out and see that show, you get to see the best of regional Queensland. We're the gateway. We're the gateway to all the stuff that lines your shelves all the way down the East Coast. That's us, and we're very, very proud of it.
So also what I love about a Queenslander, won't hold back, right? They'll look you right in the eye and say, all right, Mr Mayor, fix this traffic light, do this, do that. What's it like representing people that want to be that honest? They're not going to hide. They're not going to be keyboard warriors. They'll get right up in your face. And I love it.
Paul, the greatest strength of our region are the people. You hear it here. Listen to these folks. They are seriously inspirational. You mentioned John Wagner twice. You must be on commission or something, John. Twice, 3 times. But you know,
I need a backup job driving a truck one day. I've already said I'm willing to push a dozer if necessary, all right? You've got to have a plan B.
Exactly. Thank you, John. Name me anywhere else in Australia, regional Australia, but anywhere else in Australia, you can learn to be a pilot, Qantas Pilot Academy. You can discover new planets at the University of Southern Queensland. You can learn a trade at TAFE. You can be part of Queensland's largest agricultural sector.
He's good. Very good.
You can learn to be a doctor, a nurse. You can then be part of an education sector that's beyond anywhere else in Australia. That all happens here. And now we're an Olympic region.
That's it.
Now we're an Olympic region.
Pumping. I love it. I love it. Garth, again, as somebody who gets to go to Canberra, and obviously much of the media, they only talk about regions like this in times of disaster. How do you keep it on the front foot so that, a minister, a prime minister, an opposition leader shadow, they don't forget that this isn't a place that just turns up every 3 years, that you need to take care of it in between?
Look, it won't surprise you. You've been a regular guest here, but I think I've had 13 of the front bench of our team come across just this term because they want to come here and they want to be taking photos with the feedlots out west. They want to come in and see the Empire Theatre.
Yes.
What a great display that is. They want to come to the Cow, have a beer with everybody down there and be part of this great city. We've got such a great story, and I think people don't realise just how close we are to Brisbane. That connectivity is really important. But look, I think this is one of these places that's really the heartbeat of Queensland politics. Yeah.
But also when you've got, at the state level, you've got treasurers, you've got plenty of great connections, which is going to help the area. But also what I have seen with my own eyes, and obviously in the preparing of this, that it's a very caring community, right? And everywhere will say, we take care of each other, but it's so visible and so vocal, right? That, literally the number of people that were handing stuff over at the Harvey Norman store about who they thought they should back in, but those organisations as well, though they do the work on top of what government stands up and announces. How important is that, and what's an example of the types of organisations that you're proud of here?
Well, look, one, and you've met a couple of guys here and they've got a lot of credit tonight, but Gus Romero with Lifesight, and you could talk to any number of organisations that raise money here for charitable goods in Toowoomba, and we outperform. We do better than what they do down in Brisbane because we get together. We are a little bit outside of that little southeast Queensland clique sometimes, and we have to look after ourselves, and we do. It's one of the best places for that. Toowoomba's great. Go outside to Oakey. It's exactly the same. A little town where people look after each other. Pittsworth, exactly the same. We could go right across our region. That's what makes us special, and I think that's what makes us tick.
So let's look forward to that future. We know 2032 and that venue is such an obvious thing to be working towards, but tell us about the future for this area, the types of things that you'd like to see that are right on the verge of being opened up. What have you got?
There's probably three key areas for us, Paul, to be honest. The first one is unlocking more land. We're a solution to the problems in the southeast, and we're a service and have been since 1816, actually. 209 years when Alan Cunningham came through here and discovered this place. First European settlement. We've been doing that to our west. We've been looking after them. So we've been a service to them. We're a solution to our west. We need to unlock more of our land. Our industrial land will be a solution to the east. That's the first one. The second one is around the Crestbrook Dam safety improvement upgrade. It's around safety, disaster ready, downstream into Toowoomba. We need funding for that. $270 million, so push hard for us.
Good. I love it. Give me the to-do list. Where's me pen?
Our annual budget's $200 million capital. This is $270 million. It's a big impost into our community. It's a massive impost. So they're the first two. And the last one, which has been no surprise to everyone, is more funding into local government more broadly. And I know you have Australian Local Government Association on here regularly. 0.51 of 1% of the national tax take goes to local government.
A mayor asking for more money. Surprise. Good on him. He's in there batting for his community.
But it's for all these people and the 182,000 that are out there across our 13,000 square kilometres. Yeah. That's what it's for, because they're going to be hit with this. They're going to be hit with it, and it's really hard for them. We shouldn't have to.
And I support, because the demand on council greater than it's ever been. I completely agree. Garth, again, where you want this joint to be in the next 5 to 10?
Well, I say this all the time. We are a place that has all the things you need. We've got wonderful hospitals, wonderful schools, and I've got a couple of boys and a girl in some of the best schools you'll find. I think what we're turning into is a place that's going to have the things you want. I think we're going to turn into a really special city, a genuine regional city, sitting out looking across that Brisbane Valley there, and it's going to be such an attractive place. Jeff is right. We're the solution. It's a hard time finding a place in Brisbane. Come up here. This is a fantastic place. We're growing, we're getting ahead. And look, I think the future, you come back here, you keep coming back.
I'll be back.
Every couple of years, you're just going to see this place go ahead further and further.
Now, did you get a prize in the local show?
I'm pleased you mentioned that, Paul.
How did this happen?
Sadly, I didn't get a prize, but Lisa's in the audience.
Good on you, Lisa.
Pembroke Honey.
Oh, thank you. Pembroke Honey, good people.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're very proud of that, part of that. That's good.
Now, you might have got a prize here too, Paul.
Yes. Hello.
There's a Grand Champion sash. Grand Champion sash. Best of breed.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Can you play that?
Go sash him up.
Yeah, sash him up. I'm going to be sash. I'm Wagyu ready. All right, sash me up. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Lead him through.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, boys. Good on you. Best in breed.
Well done.
I love it. Plenty more from Toowoomba in a second. Look, Mum, I'm best in breed. Best in breed. They love their footy in Queensland, and the Jillaroos are doing their bit at the moment when it comes to representing Australia. Best in breed they are. And Harvey Norman helps them all the way. We all know how important sport is to regions like Toowoomba, and we want to make sure that the next generation of athletes get the support they need, which is why our mates at Harvey Norman come in to support women from pathways to the elite version of the sport. And this is what we mean when we say elite. Rugby league is in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, and literally lighting up the globe. A massive part of that is going to be the biggest game in the history of women's rugby league. The Jillaroos, supported by our great mates at Harvey Norman, are about to take to a field with a stadium of tens of thousands of people, so many people watching at home. And these girls deserve every bit of our support because they have worked their backsides off and they're going to put on the best show in town.
This is a beautiful place to showcase what our female athletes are doing down that side of the world.
Puts the winger Robinson away. She's a try-scoring freak, Julia Roberts. Gorgeous pass. Kelly won't be stopped from there. Isabel Kelly is over. Congratulations to the Australian Jillaroos, a 17-try-to-1 demolition.
I told girls to think about their first jersey and what that looked like and where that was. And mine was in the back streets of New Zealand with hardly any lights. And then when we were on the stadium today, there's lights everywhere, there's people everywhere. It's a moment, but it's just going to be an absolutely huge time for the Jillaroos to spread our game.
What made this event even more special was that the NT Titans women's team was part of this incredible landmark event in Vegas. We actually first had the chance to meet these wonderful players through their assistant coach, Bianca Scrimgeour, who was one of the Spirit Award winners of the Harvey Norman Shine Awards last year. It was absolutely incredible to see these players present their jerseys to their heroes in the Jillaroos.
So I'm actually going to invite up Erin from the Northern Territory team to present our number 1 jersey, to Tamika Upton, Jillaroo number 174, 5 test matches for the Jillaroos.
It's a bit surreal. I've been in the pathway since I was 13. I'm now 21. So yeah, we used to just go to national comps, just over to Queensland and stuff, and now we're around the world.
Within any sporting club, it's crucial that players feel support across the board, from the psychologists to the dietitians and in particular the coaching staff. And it's clear, this team absolutely love their coach Leon.
He's an awesome person. He's done a lot for me and my family. I really enjoy working with him and being coached by him. He has a great head on his shoulders.
They knew there was a job to be done over here. They were determined to put their best foot forward on the footy field, but also enjoy themselves also. Yeah, I can't thank them enough for what they've done over here for us.
And while I was over there, I got a chance to catch up with a few of the Jillaroos stars to find out what the experience meant to them.
Yeah, everyone was so supportive of the women, and I think that's amazing, and it's just to see how far the women's game's come. It's pretty special that we get to have this opportunity to play and showcase our women's rugby league at Allegiant Stadium in such a big event. But hopefully after this, the game on Saturday, our game's just going to go to another level, and we're going to get more support and more sponsors putting into our game to make us become professional athletes, and then where our game can just go to another 10 levels above that.
It is the biggest game of rugby league the team has ever played. The Jillaroos in front of that crowd with all that exposure. That is such a testament to the hard work you guys have put in for a long time.
All right, don't make me nervous just yet, all right?
So now that the Jillaroos have played the very first women's NRL game in Las Vegas, with the help of our mates at Harvey Norman, it's incredible to imagine how far the women's game has gone, is going, and will thrive into the future.
This is number 5.
They love their footy in Queensland. They love it, particularly here in Toowoomba. 2 women who are doing incredible things here. Phoebe Mitchell, who is with the QCWA, and Amanda Dalton, who is with an organisation called Protea Place. Both are special women who are doing special things here. Lovely to see you both. Yeah. Now, Amanda, I got the chance to meet you yesterday when we were at Harvey Norman. Locals had nominated you as somebody doing something special. Tell us a little bit about the place and what you do.
So I created Protea Place, which is a women's support centre, nearly 6 years ago. We didn't have anything in Toowoomba that was a place where women could just go, whether it be domestic and family violence or homelessness or any other life trauma. So I decided to start something up, and I think because of our amazing community that we have here in Toowoomba, we've been completely community funded for the past 5.5 years, which is just phenomenal and testament to our Toowoomba community.
And part of what you do, apart from a safe space when it may be needed, and again, this is a great place, but as every place, there's times that are tough for people. But also I've heard stories about what you do, that you, in the middle of the night, are willing to go and meet somebody and bring them to the place. What does it mean to you on that personal level if you can help one woman for one night?
Yeah, so obviously domestic and family violence has a massive impact, and particularly in the homelessness space. That is the largest reason that women and or children are becoming homeless, is because of domestic and family violence. And unfortunately, with a housing crisis on us, it's made it a million times worse and a lot harder.
Now, how much money do you need out of the Queensland government?
$636,000.
All right, Premier, deliver it tomorrow. All right, deliver it tomorrow. Treasurer, local MP, deliver it tomorrow. If not, I'll kick your ass. All right, that's the way it's going to work.
Thank you.
All right, that's called advocacy for you there, Amanda. All right, well, now, of course, Phoebe, we met you the very first time that we were here, and it's lovely to see you again. The CWA is known nationwide, the Queensland branch of it. What have you guys been focused on in the past little while? How do you help?
Okay, so at the moment, we're the quiet achievers. We're in the background doing a lot of work on the ground, helping emergency crews at the moment. We're providing food in central Queensland to emergency crews who are helping out those in flood. We're also giving packages of food, vouchers, that type of thing, out around Eromanga. We've got one of our members who's actually provided housing for people to come into.
Wow.
In Tamborine, we're doing the same. They're providing food ongoing. It's not while it's happening, we're there for months after as well. So that's one thing that's continued on from Cairns, on from all of those. The other space that we're working in at the moment, and it's early stages for us, but that is, there's a huge, as Amanda said, women and poverty and homelessness is huge. And so where we are as QCWA is we're actually in the process at the moment, we're actually lobbying to government in all areas to try and change some of the policies around women and around the availability of assistance for women. And then also, not only the policy, we're advocating for a whole lot of changes in that space altogether. On the ground stuff that we're doing is that because we have over between 200 and 300 branches, we have women on the ground all over the place who are actually doing things like DV Connect packs. So they're making up packs, they're delivering them to the local DV Connect places, etc. They're putting together emergency toiletries, emergency kits for children, and that type of thing. So that goes on all year, every year, and we've been doing that for some 15 years now.
I ask a dumb question, but it's my role at this moment to do so. How do blokes help? How do blokes, I mean, obviously there are things that need to change and attitudes and all the rest of it, I believe, as a person who would die for the women in my life, that that's the majority of people. I know you guys see a different picture in an area, but how do men help what you do?
So behind every woman, there is actually a man, usually who's helping, or a partner who's helping in the background. That's one way they help, is actually assisting our members. But the other way that they're actually helping is that we actually have what we call Friends of QCWA, which is open to all men, and sponsorship and donations. So we have two main areas that are tax deductible, that we get only funding. We don't get any funding at all, government funding. We're completely... Wow. And in this last month, we've given out $40,000 in aid to those who need it, in food vouchers, in clothing, in that sort of thing. And that's just from our disaster fund and our public rural crisis, both of which are tax deductible, and both which you can actually donate to us online.
Well, it's that thing. We're across the country right now. That's how you can help, male, female or anything else. That's how to do it. We'll make sure all the details are up on the websites. Again, government, listen to these ladies. They're at the coalface. They know what's going on. And Toowoomba, be very proud that they're doing it in your community. Thank you, ladies. Really do appreciate it. All right. We'll take a quick break and then I'm going to show you some of the great sights of Toowoomba. More in a second. Thank you very much. So we are here in Toowoomba. Big shout out to everyone at the Mills Precinct. What a great venue this is. Thank you to everyone helping us out in the coffee bars up the back. Look at that. Not only are they serving the coffees in the back, they're clapping and cheering along as well with the studio audience. Good on you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. Now, tomorrow night, give you a little preview. Don't forget, we didn't realise that the timing would be like this, but we know Anthony Albanese always wants to do me a favour, and the favour that he's done us is calling the election on Friday. So the first big event of the election when it comes to Peter Dutton is going to be the pub test, where, again, huge room full of people who watch this show. They get to ask him whatever questions that they want. I'll follow up here and there, but the event is not about me, it's about those questions. And I love all of these in pub tests or people's forums or debates where you watch the body language, you go, OK, how do they deal with this? How do they do their decision-making? All of that. So that'll be fun. And that's, of course, tomorrow night here on Sky News. 8 o'clock Queensland time. What's this 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Standard rubbish? It's 8 o'clock in Queensland, the only joint that matters. And I had the chance to walk around with one of the local councillors here, Edwina, because a new segment that I thought up before this our town, and we'll do it in Kalgoorlie and we'll do it everywhere else, is show us 3 really cool buildings around the town. Because while I don't pretend to be any sort of architecture aficionado, I do like a good building. I can work out a form, and Edwina tells us 3 of the ones worth remembering here. There's many, many more, but 3 are the best.
There's this lovely old and new, which keeps the place alive.
Yep.
So give me an idea about the 3 things when you come to Toowoomba you've got to see with your own eyes.
The Empire Theatre, most beautiful Art Deco building in town. Almost, it burnt down a number of years ago. Council voted to rebuild it, and it almost divided the town. No one wanted it, and now it is the jewel in our crown.
Gorgeous. We got the chance to see it last night with all of the fog around, which just was this really beautiful building.
Plenty of fog today too.
Plenty of it.
Part of Toowoomba.
All right, number 2.
We've got a gorgeous courthouse. It used to be the courthouse. It's now been turned into a home. We've got residents now moving into town, and that's something that we're also trying to encourage here at Toowoomba, is shop top living. More people living in town. They can then walk to work, keep off the roads, but also visit all the shops and businesses downtown.
I don't know if you agree with me, but we've got to talk about a toilet. We've got to talk about one toilet, right? Now
Yeah.
It's not going to take long to visit, hopefully. But it looks really cool.
Yeah, and it is cool, and it's so random, but it was built in 1919, and it was so sturdy that it withstood the 2011 floods. The inland tsunami washed all the way through town, and that building, that toilet, is still standing, and it's there today.
I repeat, dozens and dozens of things to see, hundreds and hundreds of things to do, but if a toilet looks as good as that, I have to talk about it, all right? I'm a bloke and that's the way that it works. All right, thank you to everyone in Toowoomba. Thank you for being so kind to us this weekend. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for the support that you have, not just for the show, but the station. We've got plenty of fire up when it comes to the election, but the most important thing about these shows is these are great people. And I say it whether it's the smallest part of Tasmania or it's big regional centres like this, whether it's going to be Kalgoorlie in Western Australia in a few weeks' time, or it's country capitals. Australia's a magnificent place. It's a massive place. It's a different place. And if you're somebody who is just sick and tired of taking an hour and a half to get from one side of a capital city to another, there's this place called the rest of Australia, OK? Come and visit it. Move to it, bring business here, bring big ideas, and particularly in a place like Toowoomba, this is a can-do joint. This is a can-do joint that has connected itself not just to the rest of Queensland, but to the rest of the world through the airport. It connects itself through business parks, through people who are hardworking and wanting to work harder. There are people who have worked hard their whole life and will welcome you with open arms. Toowoomba is a very special place. That's why it was our first our town. That's why it's the place we've been to more than anything else. And again, on behalf of myself and everyone at Sky News, thank you, Toowoomba. We love you guys, honestly. Thank you so much. That's our show for tonight. We will see you again tomorrow night where Peter Dutton will be taking the pub taste, taking questions from the Sky News viewers. And I'm up for another big night in the great town of Toowoomba. See you again. Ta-ra.